Hi, Alan Wood here again with the Alan Wood team, and we have Mark Gunther again from Over Courts.
Morning, Al.
Hi, Mark. Thanks again for coming in. So today we're going to talk about the next section of the contract, which is Section 5, and this talks at the beginning about the property condition disclosure. Now, this is a form that New York State has given out for the seller to fill out to represent things about their property. Things of whether it's in a flood zone, if they know that, was it the site of a landfill, if there's any defects in any part of the property. So the seller fills this out and then gives it to the buyer. Now, it's one of these things that the seller does not have to fill out. They can decide not to fill it out, but then they have to give a $500 credit to the buyer, and the buyer has to realize they're not getting it. It also can be not applicable if it's an estate or anything like that type of situation. But with the property condition disclosure, what it does is protect all parties, that the seller's disclosing if there's any defects that they know of and that the buyer might not be aware of by walking through the home. And I've had this come into play, Mark. So what would be your question, or what would be your answer if I said this? Okay, we walked through the house, one house. It had the dining room with an area rug all around it, okay, and the table on top of it and the chairs. The hardwood floors were just refinished, the owner said. Okay, so we go through, a final walkthrough comes. They left, they took the carpet and everything, and there's like a 6-foot area that was under the rug that you couldn't see that was not refinished, and they had just refinished the floors. What would be your understanding in that case? I'm just curious.
You know, that's a good question, Al. I would say it probably doesn't fall under the property condition disclosure. It's more of a hidden defect, okay, which is covered in the general contract. Property condition disclosure doesn't have anything specifically geared towards floors.
It's more like if they have if the basement's flooding or it rains and they haven't disclosed that in the property condition disclosure.
Exactly. And it's important to note too that the seller has to answer all those questions to the best of their knowledge and update it as needed. So if something changes, maybe they had a prior offer and there was an issue with the property that they became aware of, let's just say the roof leaked, they would have to update their answer to the property condition disclosure to point out that the roof now leaks.
Okay. Well, then this brings up, I'm just curious, another point. What if the seller had like an ice dam 5 years ago, fixed it, took care of it, new ice water shield and everything, it's all repaired, everything's fixed, they haven't had a problem in 5 years. There's nothing needed to disclose at that point, right?
Correct. A couple of the questions, has there ever been an issue? And I don't believe the roof question is, has there ever been an issue? I believe the question in regards to the roof is, are there any material defects?
Correct.
And that's not to say there wasn't a defect previously that's now been resolved and therefore it's no longer a defect.
Okay, great, thanks Mark. Well, that is our section for today on this, and then we're going to get into a little bit about the second part with the have to act, and we'll get into that, and you guys will be thrilled with this next one.
Thanks,
but thanks again, Mark.